I'm just glad to have the opportunity to be ready to play a game. And so, don't let my enthusiasm scare you guys this morning. But I'm excited. I hope everybody's doing well. Looking forward to getting an opportunity to play tomorrow. As you guys know, it's been a long road for us, a long couple of weeks, and our guys are just grateful to get back on the court. As I stated earlier this week, we'll travel with probably 9 guys, and those 9 guys are extremely excited about their opportunity. Um, you know, um, we were able to schedule a game late Monday night with Travis Ford, and obviously St. Louis, and he and I got on the phone, and they were looking for a game, and so were we. It's a great opponent. When you look at them in the latest AP, they're number 27, and so it's a good thing for us. Very rarely do they get many high majors to come into their program and play, especially in ACC school. But we needed a very good game because we lost the Michigan game and UConn game, and obviously, well coached, returning all 5 starters, good program. I think they'll enter the game at 5-0, and I wanted our team to be challenged and excited about the opportunity to play. So, questions?
Jonas, you have your hands raised?
I do. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Jonas, good morning.
Coach, you said you've been looking for the opportunity to play the game, but I'll go ahead and ask you the question that's been circling around the triangle, especially since your team has been hit pretty hard and missed 5 games. Do you think now is a good time to play, or would you like to see a pause and reset and kind of reevaluate the season due to COVID?
No, I think it's I think we should be playing. I think we have with our guys in particular, and most of the schools in Division One, we've got a pretty good setup. We're getting tested frequently. Our guys are doing a great job. I will say this to you guys. Coach K, he got hammered about pausing, and a lot of people, they hammered him about pausing because his team had lost a couple games, and I think that's ridiculous. I've been on calls with him the entire summer, and he's always talked about possibly starting the season in January, February, and playing only conference only. And so I think it was very unfair. He gave his opinion of what he thought should happen, especially what's going on. And I don't think he was treated right, obviously by a lot of folks, because once again, it was his opinion. And the mere fact that, when he said it, everybody jumped on the fact because he lost a couple home games. Well, I'm sure if he didn't coach another game, he would go down as one of the best coaches ever to coach the game, and he's won a lot of games. And so I think that was unfair. On our end, there are some concerns. There should be some concerns. But at the end of the day, I do think that we have a safe situation for our guys to continue to play, and we want to kind of play if we can.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yep.
Go ahead, James.
Yeah, Kevin, I hope you're doing well. I know this may be a tough question to ask with the pause, but through 3 games, how would you evaluate where you're at as a team? Like I said, I understand it may be tough to answer that right now.
Yeah, James, I think you're right, buddy. I don't know. We were playing really good basketball. We played 2 home games, and we went on the road and obviously played UMass Lowell. And we were about to play a good UConn team and then follow that up with a Michigan team. I don't know what type of team I have right now. We'll find out. I thought at that time we were playing really good basketball, but we hadn't taken a break. When you look at us, I don't think we've played a game since December the 3rd. And so that's such a long time. And so when you factor that in, you factor the amount of people that's traveling with us, you factor that, how rusty we'll be, in the way that we like to play. I guess we'll find out a lot, but our guys want to play. Our guys want to get out there and play basketball. And so that's what I'm going to do.
And just to follow up, how much have you been able to get on the court the last few days?
Well, we got back this past Saturday was the first time that I actually got back in the gym And what I mean by that is at that point, and that we had 6 dudes, and then Sunday we had 8 guys. And the last few days we've been able to practice with our 8 guys, and I've been able to do a lot of 4-on-4 stuff. And so, we didn't. I know a lot of everybody will look and say, "Man, you guys didn't. You said on the 9th you paused." That's just when we announced that we paused, but we hadn't had a team practice since December the 4th, right before we were scheduled to play UConn.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Justin.
Hey, good morning, Coach. I know this is the second time this season now that your staff has had to, schedule a game on short notice within, 24, 48 hours. Could you just tell us a little bit about, how this game came together in such short notice again?
Yeah, Justin, you're right, and I will guarantee you this: it probably won't be the last time either. It's we called around. We posted on Win AD. We were looking for a game. We wanted a Power 5 game or opponent who could be a quad 1 game. And so we were willing to go on the road to anybody's place and play. And so we called around. As crazy as it seems, it's not a lot of teams that's available right now because most teams are now getting into conference play. And so we talked to all of the Power 5s, included the Big East, to see if there was some help. We spoke to the ACC to see if we can get some help from those guys. And I just had a hunch and got on the phone with Travis, and I was doing research on the internet trying to figure out who had games canceled. And Travis and I talked, and that's Travis Ford at St. Louis. And, they needed a game, we needed a game, and wasn't any hesitation. I said, I'll be to you. I'm coming to you because we wanted a good opponent. And so it was a lot of work into it. My assistant coaches, every assistant coaches was trying to make calls, trying to figure out, who needed a game. The ACC was involved. A couple of days later, well, actually yesterday, because of the Virginia and Villanova cancellation, we got a call about possibly playing Villanova, but we'd already signed the St. Louis contract and wanted to make sure that we honored that.
And a quick follow-up. I know the Michigan game was officially postponed. I don't know. Do you have any updates as if that game could still potentially be rescheduled at this point?
I don't have any updates. I saw that they scheduled a game. I think they scheduled Toledo right afterwards. And obviously, because of the limitation amount of games, the game probably won't be rescheduled unless they have a cancellation when we can find a time when we can play. I'm hopeful. Would love to play. I would love to play the UConn game, also the Michigan game. But there's a lot of factors on both ends that have to go into that decision.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, hey, Kevin. Coaches love to have control. You're notorious for liking to have control. How hard has it been for you guys, for you as a coach, to just not have control of what's going on?
Well, I think as society we've lost control. And so I'm not going to, as a coach, I would love to obviously be able to know what's happening. But I have to do exactly what I've asked my guys to do, to be flexible and to be ready to make a change. My coaching staff, we've had to, scratch 3 or 4 scouting reports that we've worked on, for countless hours to be ready to play against a team and then be able to switch gears and play against another team. It's tough, but who am I to complain with what we have going on in society today?
Kevin, how are the guys doing? How are they keeping positive during this whole situation?
They're doing fine. They're understanding that it's a tough situation. I think reality is starting to sink in with those guys that at any moment, you could have a game canceled at any moment. You could possibly have your season canceled. And so I think they're understanding, and they want to have the opportunity to play as much as they can because they don't know how many games is going to be guaranteed to us.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
You are.
Go ahead, Mark.
Todd kind of touched on my question there, but I was just wondering how your younger players versus your veterans are able to adapt to the constantly changing circumstance.
Mark, I think it's tough on both. It's weird because I think the younger guys are able to adapt a little bit more because they've never been through a season, so they don't understand it. With the older guys, they were used to having things go exactly as they're scheduled and exactly as they're planned. And I think that's been the biggest adjustment to them. You know, you see disappointment in those guys' face when you hear that, hey, by the way, we were going to play. And it's crazy because I have to get them on a Zoom and I want to explain to them before it hits the national media or the local media to you guys that we're going to have a cancellation. And it's kind of crazy now when I call for a Zoom in the evening time, they all feel like that something bad's going to happen. So I got to figure out how to call for a Zoom and tell them something great. But I think the older guys struggle with it a little bit more because they've been through and they're used to what they're used to.
Go ahead, Jonas.
Yeah, Coach, I don't want you to give away too much of your scout to St. Louis, but you said you're taking 9 guys on that trip. Is it all 9 scholarship guys, or you leave some scholarship guys behind in Raleigh when you guys leave today?
Jonas, you're right. We're taking 9 guys. We will put and Craig will release about an hour before game time who's in the traveling party and who's going to play.
I had to at least try, Coach. You know.
I know you did, Jonas. I know. You know Craig's famous for letting you guys know about an hour right before. So blame that on him.
I've got eligibility left.
Mark, can you shoot it?
Depends on the day.
Okay. Well, I need a shooter every day.
Go ahead, JB.
Hey, Coach, JB here from Spectrum News 1. That shooter definitely won't be me, so don't plan on me joining the traveling party with you. I just wanted to ask you, with everything being in flux and just the adjustments that you've had to make as a head coach and your coaching staff, like how are you guys adjusting to this new norm of every game, you know, being up in the air and not knowing how you're going to plan around this recruiting trip? And, you know, now that the season is here, how are you working around all of the factors?
Well, I'm giving those guys information as soon as I get it. I don't leave it up to guesswork. You know, I've asked them every day just to be prepared for the unusual. And I think that's the biggest thing. We're coping with it, you know, for, you know, the older guys. I'm telling them, hey, you don't know if this thing is going to end or how many games that we're going to possibly play. So I want you to experience it and you know, love on every opportunity that you have. And for the younger guys, we're talking about, hey, you're not having a normal freshman year. I know this is your first freshman year, but things will get back to normal one day and you'll realize, man, this is a lot different than what most freshmen typically go to when they enter college. And as a, you know, coaching staff, you know, we've had to, you know, be able to make adjustments on the fly. You know, I don't know, JB, I don't know what type of team I have right now. I really don't, you know, because we haven't played in so long. But the great opportunity is that my guys want to play basketball, and we're going to try to give them that opportunity to do so.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Justin.
Hey, Coach. I know another question that probably there's some uncertainty, but I know you said that you had 6 players in practice on Saturday, 8 on Sunday, and you're going to take 9 to St. Louis. Do you have a timeline as to when you could possibly get some more players after this game?
I don't. You know, everything that we deal with, whether it's related to any type of injury or whether it's related to any COVID issue, is strictly in the hands of the medical. And we'll listen to those guys. And when they tell me that folks are clear, then that's when we'll play them.
Thanks.
You know, I'll tell you, you know, our main deal is the safety of our players and the health of our players. And if they're not 110% based on what the medical people tell me, has nothing to do with me as a coach, has nothing to do with the player. If the medical people don't clear them, then we won't play them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, last question, Mark Armstrong.
It's neither here nor there at this point, but would you guys have been in a position to play tonight's Louisville game if that hadn't been out the window?
Yeah, we were prepared to play tonight as we are prepared to play tomorrow. That being said, you know, Louisville has to listen to their medical folks. If our medical folks felt like that we were not prepared or we wasn't ready to play, then we wouldn't have played. I think everybody's program is different. As coaches, we don't have as much control as we talked about before in making those decisions, and when we don't want to. not to, based on where things are going and, talking to our medical people, talking to their medical people, they didn't feel that they were prepared to play tonight. And that's what it is.
All right. Thanks, everyone.